Now, this is genuinely interesting. TechCrunch AI is reporting on Harvard's $699 startup bootcamp offers AI avatars of its instructors. What's actually going on here is in the HBS Foundry program. AI avatars provide feedback during practice pitches and board meetings. The implications here go beyond the immediate headline. We're talking about a shift that could reshape how millions of people interact with AI tools on a daily basis. And it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the workflows, business models, and expectations that get rebuilt around it. When a capability like this becomes widely available, it doesn't just improve what already exists. It makes entirely new things possible. Entire categories of software get reimagined. Processes that used to require specialized expertise become accessible to anyone. That democratization is one of the most powerful and underappreciated aspects of where AI is headed, and stories like this one are a window into how that transition is actually unfolding in real time. This is exactly the kind of move that shapes where AI is headed and why staying informed matters. Let's dig into this story. TechCrunch AI is reporting on Inherent, founded by DeepMind alumni, says its AI teammate just outperformed Anthropic and OpenAI at replicating research. To understand why this matters, built by DeepMind alumni, British AI lab Inherent released Faraday, an AI agent whose ability to replicate scientific papers could be a stepping stone for innovation. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this fits into a pattern we've been tracking, a fundamental change in how AI capabilities are being deployed and monetized. The shift from research curiosity to production infrastructure is happening faster than most people expected, and the companies leading that transition are defining the rules for everyone else. What's important to understand is that the decisions being made right now about APIs, pricing, safety constraints, and access policies will shape the ecosystem for years to come. Early movers are locking in advantages that will be very hard to replicate later. If you're building in this space, the time to be paying close attention is not next year. It's right now. We'll be watching closely how this develops over the coming days and weeks. This one is a big deal, and here's why. TechCrunch AI is reporting on OpenAI, says California should strengthen its AI safety bill. Breaking this down further, OpenAI is calling for California to strengthen SB 53, an AI safety bill that the company previously opposed. This kind of development doesn't happen in isolation. It signals a larger trend that has been building for months, and today's announcement is likely just the beginning of what's coming. When you look at the velocity of releases, the amount of capital flowing into this space, and the caliber of talent working on these problems, it's clear we're still in the early innings. Each new capability unlocks a new category of applications that simply weren't possible before. Developers are already building on top of these foundations, and the things they're creating are going to surprise people. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed and stay curious, because the gap between those who understand these tools and those who don't is going to matter more and more. The implications here are significant for anyone serious about following AI developments. Let's dig into this story. OpenAI News is reporting on Stampli cuts launch hours by 68% using ChatGPT Work. Here's the important part. With a fixed deadline and design resources committed elsewhere, Stampli used Codex and ChatGPT Work to compress weeks of launch production into days. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this fits into a pattern we've been tracking, a fundamental change in how AI capabilities are being deployed and monetized. The shift from research curiosity to production infrastructure is happening faster than most people expected, and the companies leading that transition are defining the rules for everyone else. What's important to understand is that the decisions being made right now about APIs, pricing, safety constraints, and access policies will shape the ecosystem for years to come. Early movers are locking in advantages that will be very hard to replicate later. If you're building in this space, the time to be paying close attention is not next year. It's right now. We'll be watching closely how this develops over the coming days and weeks. Here's something worth paying close attention to. OpenAI News is reporting on offering zero data retention for frontier models. Breaking this down further, OpenAI reaffirms zero data retention for eligible API customers and previews private safety processing for advanced AI safety without compromising data privacy. Think about what this means for the broader AI landscape. Companies and developers who adapt quickly stand to gain a real competitive edge, while those who ignore this shift may find themselves playing catch-up. We're at a point where the pace of change isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. Every week brings another announcement that would have seemed impossible 2 years ago. The organizations paying attention, building internal expertise, and staying close to these developments are the ones who will be positioned to move fast when the right opportunity arrives. The ones that aren't paying attention will wake up one day to find the entire competitive landscape has shifted around them. That's not hyperbole. That's the documented pattern of every major technology transition we've seen in the past 3 decades. This is absolutely worth keeping an eye on as the space continues to evolve at a rapid pace. Now, this is genuinely interesting. VentureBeat AI is reporting on VentureBeat names Rob Strechay as its first lead analyst, expanding its enterprise AI research push. What's actually going on here is Rob Strechay, until recently managing director and principal analyst at the Cube Research, has joined VentureBeat as our first lead analyst and a founding analyst of VentureBeat Research. His arrival is the next step in a deliberate move at VentureBeat toward deeper specialization. Analysis built for the technical decision makers, the directors, VPs, CIOs, and CTOs, who are evaluating, buying, and deploying enterprise AI. The enterprise AI stack is being rewritten in real time, and the decision makers I talk with are starved for objective, defendable data. Rob Strechay has the mix of technical rigor and operating experience needed to dissect the architecture behind the next phase of enterprise AI deployment. The questions enterprise technology leaders are asking have changed. The implications here go beyond the immediate headline. We're talking about a shift that could reshape how millions of people interact with AI tools on a daily basis. And it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the workflows, business models, and expectations that get rebuilt around it. When a capability like this becomes widely available, it doesn't just improve what already exists. It makes entirely new things possible. Entire categories of software get reimagined. Processes that used to require specialized expertise become accessible to anyone. That democratization is one of the most powerful, and this is exactly the kind of move that shapes where AI is headed and why staying informed matters. Here's a major development making waves right now. Ars Technica AI is reporting on Microsoft Copilot reveals secret input that allowed it to be hacked. What's actually going on here is secret parameter allowed hackers to steal passwords when a target clicked on a link. What's fascinating here is the timing. This comes as the industry is at an inflection point, and moves like this one could accelerate the timeline in ways that weren't expected even 6 months ago. The pace of capability improvement has been relentless, but what's changing now is how quickly those capabilities are being translated into real-world products. The research to deployment cycle that used to take years is now taking months, and in some cases weeks. That compression has enormous consequences for every industry that involves information, creativity, or decision-making, which is to say nearly every industry. The people who will thrive in this environment are the ones who can separate the signal from the noise, stay grounded in what's actually working, and move decisively when the right moments arrive. This is absolutely worth keeping an eye on as the space continues to evolve at a rapid pace. This story caught our attention today, and it should catch yours too. VentureBeat AI is reporting on Google just redesigned the search box for the first time in 25 years. Here's why it matters more than you think. To understand why this matters, for a quarter century, The Google search box has been one of the most recognizable interfaces in computing: a thin white rectangle, a blinking cursor, a few typed words, and a list of blue links. On Tuesday, Google will formally retire that paradigm at its annual I/O Developer Conference. Google announced a sweeping redesign of the search box itself, the literal text field where billions of queries begin every day, transforming it from a simple keyword input into a dynamic, AI-driven conversation starter that can accept text, images, PDFs, videos, and even open Chrome tabs as inputs. The company is also merging its AI overviews and AI mode features into a single, seamless search flow, eliminating the friction that previously forced users to choose between a traditional results page and. It's worth pausing to consider the second and third order effects here. Beyond the immediate news, this creates ripple effects across the ecosystem that we'll be watching closely. New capabilities at the model layer unlock new possibilities at the application layer, which in turn creates new demand at the infrastructure layer. It's a compounding cycle, and each turn of the flywheel tends to happen faster than the last. That's what. Stay tuned. This story is likely to develop further, and we'll keep you updated. Let's dig into this story. VentureBeat AI is reporting on Railway secures $100 million to challenge AWS with AI-native cloud infrastructure. The key detail you need to know is Railway, a San Francisco-based cloud platform that has quietly amassed 2 million developers without spending a dollar on marketing, announced Thursday that it raised $100 million in a Series B funding round, as surging demand for artificial intelligence applications exposes the limitations of legacy cloud infrastructure. TQ Ventures led the round, with participation from FPV Ventures, Redpoint, and Unusual Ventures. The investment values Railway as one of the most significant infrastructure startups to emerge during the AI boom, capitalizing on developer frustration with the complexity and cost of traditional platforms like Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud. As AI models get better at writing code, more and more people are asking the age-old question, where and how do I run my? When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this fits into a pattern we've been tracking: a fundamental change in how AI capabilities are being deployed and monetized. The shift from research curiosity to production infrastructure is happening faster than most people expected, and the companies leading that transition are defining the rules for everyone else. What's important to understand is that the decisions being made right now about APIs, pricing, safety constraints, and access policies will shape the ecosystem for years to come. Early movers are locking in advantages that will. The implications here are significant for anyone serious about following AI developments. Here's what's happening right now in the world of AI. Google AI blog is reporting on generative AI to quantify uncertainty in weather forecasting. The key detail you need to know is posted by Li Zhao, Larry Lee, software engineer, and Rob Carver, research scientist. Google Research accurate weather forecasts can have a direct impact on people's lives, from helping make routine decisions, like what to pack for a day's activities, to informing urgent actions, for example, protecting people in the face of hazardous weather conditions. The importance of accurate and timely weather forecasts will only increase as the climate changes. Recognizing this, we at Google have been investing in weather and climate research to help ensure that the forecasting technology of tomorrow can meet the demand for reliable weather information. Some of our recent innovations include MetNet 3, Google's high-resolution forecasts up to 24 hours into the future, and GraphCast, a weather model. Context is everything with a story like this. The players involved, the timing, and the technical details all point to something more strategic than it might appear on the surface. These announcements rarely happen in a vacuum. They're responses to competitive moves, signals to investors and partners, attempts to set the agenda for where the conversation goes next. Reading the subtext is as important as reading the headline. What's being communicated about priorities? What does this tell us about where the hard technical problems are being solved? What doors does this open that were? If you found this interesting, there's more where that came from. Keep watching for our daily breakdowns. And that's your AI news roundup for today. If any of these stories caught your attention, drop a comment below. I'd love to know what you think. Hit subscribe so you never miss a daily update, and I'll see you tomorrow.